Welcome or welcome back to the Impressive Warrior channel. My name is Dina. Thank you so much for coming, stopping through. Let's take a moment, clear the space, and let's even ring the bell for good measure today. How are you doing today? Seeking some higher perspectives with the bell, clearing some old resonance. Let's check in with the Tao De Ching, and the Art of War deck to see what the situation is for you today. Collective. All right. Don't burn your bridges. Indeed, really. Let's read what's under the deck first. 64 reduces to a 10 and then to a 1, an ace. So there's some type of new beginning after culmination. What is rooted is easy to nourish. What is recent is easy to correct. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter. Prevent trouble before it arises. Put things in order before they exist. The giant pine tree grows from a tiny sprout. The journey of 1,000 miles starts from beneath your feet. Rushing into action, you might fail. Trying to grasp things, you might lose them. Forcing a project to completion, you might ruin what was almost ripe. Therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their due course. He remains as calm at the end as at the beginning. He has nothing, thus he has nothing to lose. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus, he can care for all things. So somebody is really becoming aware, or you are really becoming in touch with your very sincere side, very genuine nature. It's like you are so much in the flow. It's as though you're really tapping into some expansive neutrality at this time, not getting over anxious and overthinking something before it's even time to be ripe. You're just waiting for something to take its time. And so it's divine patience, which seems to be rooted in trust, but also I keep hearing from several sources now that the proof is in the pudding. What an interesting phrase for spirit to keep using. The pudding, huh? All right, let's see about this burning your bridges. In life, things will not always go your way. Indeed. Whatever happens, always keep lines of communication open. Never burn your bridges, whether with friends, colleagues, or with your clients. Acting on impulse may lead to destruction that is hard or impossible to reverse. Focus instead on the positive and on happiness in everything you do. So, yeah, sometimes truth, it recently has been coming through that there's, of course, the 3 gateways to speaking truth, because there are many layers to truth. What we perceive, what they perceive, what is overall neutrality, and then what the situation needed. And there's all these levels of clarity and disclarity. And I think that when there's potential for conflict or animosity or any type of drama or engagement with old cycles that you've already grown through and beyond, I think that you're not burdening yourself or projecting at them any type of necessary resentment energy. It's just who somebody is, and instead of becoming triggered or reactive towards somebody's choices, we can just kind of live and let live by focusing on what is actually correct within a situation. On the backside there, we have anger may in time change to gladness. Vexation may be succeeded by content. Okay, yeah, asking questions, being curious instead of reactive. But a kingdom that has once been destroyed can never come back again into being, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life. Yeah, so before some vibe deadening type words are said, there's something that needs to be reflected upon. It's like giving that whole take 10 breaths, 10 seconds to reflect and really recycle that energy through what is true, right, and necessary in the moment. 67. Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty but impractical. But those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense to them. And to those that put it into actual practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. Exactly, that's what we're working on here. The return to the self instead of focus on external situations and environments. Imposing the will, is no longer as necessary when we're in that place of flow with whatever is. It doesn't displace our center. It doesn't need to, at least. These 3, simplicity, patience, and compassion, are your greatest teachers. Simple in actions and in thoughts. You return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies. You accord yourself with the way things are. Compassionate towards yourself. You reconcile all beings in the world. So yeah, being at peace within yourself and being at flow within the situation is activating within you this sense of radical trust and radical expression and just beingness. And it gives you this energetic capacity to hold the space for others to do a similar thing with their energy. 74. If you realize that all things change, there's nothing that you'll try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut your hand. So there's definitely an element of someone being very identified with a viewpoint and being afraid to lose a point or to have a position challenged in some type of way. But it seems that most of us are really learning the lesson through this stalemate energy I'm hearing, that we're learning how to just flow with it. And it's like the Tao can teach that when you encounter resistance, either you pause and gather your resources until the amount of energy held within becomes enough to overcome and surpass the obstacle, or to find a secondary course of lesser resistance around the obstacle. Yeah, and so we're being also advised not to necessarily see that as an invitation to overwhelm and overthrow another individual in real situations with other hearts and viewpoints that we encounter, because when we begin cutting and pushing and shoving in this world, as humans can sometimes do in other things that we encounter, other obstacles, like even rose bushes and briar bushes, when you try to move through those, we can indeed get cut. It's like giving that, if we think that we are the final judge of what is acceptable or necessary in a situation, then maybe once in a while we're going to cut our own selves on our own ego. There's a need to communicate effectively. It's very easy to think that somebody understands what we're trying to say just because we understand it. Sorry about bumping that. In all interactions, whether in person, on the phone, through text, email, whatever, ensure that what you're saying is clear, distinct, and understood. Again, with that simple, patient, and compassionate exchange that was pointed out in the earlier Tao. So while you're talking and looking for understanding and giving instruction and just having dialogue, it can be important to give examples, to think carefully about your words before pressing that send button or so on, and then ask them what they think that you've said to avoid errors in communication. Sun Tzu said, if words of command are not clear and distinct, if orders are not thoroughly understood, then the general or the issuer is to blame. But if his orders are clear and the soldiers disobey, then it is the fault of their officers. So whether you are conveying something or another is conveying something, there's something lost in translation, and so it may have to be revisited. Underneath the deck here is Archangel Gabriel. For whatever reason, there's this aspect of nostalgia coming into this reading. For me, it was as I was entering back into this space after letting my new puppy go have a little nap in the kennel because being hyperactive. And I came back in and I was burning patchouli incense. So I don't know if that has a special message for anyone. Archangel Gabriel comes out from the bottom of the deck. So Archangel Gabriel, to my understanding, is the archangel energy that is depicted in the tarot and so on, for being the one that blows the trumpet, so the deliverer of the messages. So there's some kind of opening and understanding and a delivering of a message and this communication in general, that something higher is able to be conveyed here. Two worlds. That's very dark. I wanted to soften the light today. It was just for whatever reason wanting to be darker. So there's some kind of communication, message, or idea that's being reflected upon. Somebody has their hands full. It looks like, I mean, to me, this is a very busy household. There's a lot of things to do, but it's fairly well ordered, always something going and doing, but taking the time to rest and reflect and ponder in that time, because there's some kind of understanding. Exactly. Four of Roses, views of the ego coming out now. So we're communicating with somebody who hasn't looked beyond their own viewpoint here, and it appears that we're bringing a very well thought out message. It almost looks like a scheduled like a speech or a presentation or some type of, it looks to me like a channeled message about a better way to be. So it looks like this message that Archangel Gabriel has been delivering to us here we are trying to put it into a language that some other individuals can understand, because it looks like there is a group context here that needs to be addressed, where in the mirrored reflection it's just their own self. And yeah, the internal versus the external world. The Ascent, 7 of Keys. Being at the pinnacle of some type of situation and understanding point, this illumination is showing through the third eye of this individual. And it's as though that ascent is that time that people spend within themselves to understand a situation. So karmic trench coming out. This is definitely something to, it kind of looks like it's something we've dealt with so many times before. Let's just leave that deck there. That's the karma that we've already dug ourselves out of, and we potentially find ourselves in situations with other egos that we can assist based on the information that we've already had to transcend with our situation. So let's, because that seems like a 3D-ish type situation, let's just real quick go into this deck. This is my handmade deck, obviously, and I'm going to be adding a ton more cards to it pretty soon, so it's just fun to see the handmade cards. So what are we needing to know further from Spirit in regards to this situation? Why are we, what's this communication, channeled information coming through? It says the third eye chakra yet again. With this Queen of Scrolls, there's a message to be delivered. So we've been called into a situation because we have something that hasn't been looked at that needs to be addressed. Reclaiming your power. The karmic background for yourself has been this rise back into your true empowerment. It's like part of this karma has been operating in situations with people who only saw themselves. So some of you may be playing out some of these power and control dynamics with very unconscious individuals at different times in your background. Give and take, sharing, overcompensation, and inequality, win and lose versus win-win situations in the past, and always feeling like you were giving, others were taking. Yeah, that unequal exchange, and feeling loyal to people that didn't earn it. People that wanted all your, it's like, I love lots of attention and action, fire. It could be a fire sign, but all fire signs are not one way, just like any other sign. But it looks like this person that we're talking about is stuck in situations of pick me energy or main character creation. Like they're so unaware that the world isn't like what they are depicting, that they are super unaware of how this appears from the outside looking in. And it looks like in the past there have been situations where it was not the right timing to call something out, but it seems like there's something working through. Addiction and self-medication. Okay. There's definitely an element of victim, savior, martyr mindset. And I think that engaging with this any further, it keeps wanting to be like this situation where we're showing and healing other individuals, but that's not our role. And that keeps coming through very, very loudly and succinctly from spirit is like, to reclaim our power in a situation is to just let them be how they are and to be how we are. And so, yeah, there's something that we were needing to understand about the situation. And maybe it's something about validating others, that, and while they're not validating us, and seeing who truly holds power and influence and true knowledge. Yeah, with that validation, father issues, trying to impress you. Absolutely. People are in a hierarchical mindset here that doesn't serve, and it's very deceptive. Soul star chakra, transcendence and guidance. And that's the turning point, is the awareness and understanding that you're gaining this message that you're looking to deliver from from like this Gabriel type source, this soul star chakra, about how to assist other individuals in witnessing your ability to transcend circumstances and provide some type of evidence of ability to transform and transcend. There's a lot of people trying to appear the way that you actually are here with this copycat energy. Anything you can do, I can do better. Follower energy. And there may be people that are trying to say that you are less than you are, but you create instant attraction amongst the people that you meet. You have a lot of magnetism and healing energy. But somebody with ulterior motives is still creeping on your energy, watching how you do and what you do. Yeah, leveling up. Somebody might be moody around this situation and coming back around, trying to even give you advice or give other people advice about this, trying to align with your energy. Yeah, so all of that. But let's see, again, I think that this is just old stuff that's been working through the collective energy. Let's see what the code cards have to say at 2222 when I'm looking up there. First one out, we've got, again with the throat chakra, express your truth. Yeah, it's like, I keep thinking we should just walk away, we should just walk away. But there's something drawing us back. We also keep returning to these situations and these less aware situations because it's like there's something still ringing in the air that needs to just be addressed in certain situations here. Prosperity. Oh, I just feel compelled to read this one. Frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. So, richness of spirit and the ability to truly communicate and to not hold back. It's like, I feel like many of us are this enlightened and intuitive individual that has a lot of inspiration, a lot to add to any type of situation. A lot of individuals care about and listen to what we have to say. It gives them a lot to think about when they leave our presence. And so we have such an abundant, prosperous spirit. It literally feeds other people at the soul level with this mana of the universe, because we're in the flow with the ability to thrive. It just courses through us and it sustains other individuals. So it's a beautiful thing, and it needs to be cleansed and cleared. So your throat chakra may need some extra support, some extra high vibrational foods I'm hearing, and drinks, and extra hydration. I'm feeling that myself. The more I talk on these channels, the more I'm like, yes, I need more liquid, more water. Dr. Emoto coming through, giving love and gratitude for the abundance, the miracle of water is so easily taken for granted. And oh my goodness, how happy I am after I get my power has glitched off and comes back online, that I can flush my toilets and have running water to my faucet. I mean, it's easy to take for granted, but the flip of a switch and it's not there. So in the same type of a way, I think that our spiritual authority is gathering resonance, it's gathering magnetism, and it's gathering the ability to declare with that Archangel Gabriel. It's like we are some type of prophet coming down the mountain. That's one of the Sabian symbols. I'm not sure which one it is. I don't know if it's being triggered at the time of the astrology of you seeing this broadcast or me recording. That would be interesting. I'm not going to look it up right now for interest of time. But yeah, your authority is growing in some manner. Tantric journey. Beautiful. And delight. Interesting combination there. You are somebody who is a very inclusive individual, as we just read on the prosperity card. It's like the prosperity of spirit is in that sacred flow that we're hearing about here with the Tao energies. It's like the way that we are able to negotiate and dance and flow and swim amongst the now and the potentials of other individuals. It's like sometimes we can be in the flow of a conversation and suddenly there's the impact of something that could have an impact that was not understood or intentional on our behalf, and then we have to then negotiate that situation or foot and mouth type thing. And it's like somebody who is connected to both their shadow and light is someone who can actually express so many realities and dimensional awarenesses. It's like you can flow with any group that you choose, but you've got this very enlightened and activated energy core within you that is so alluring and inviting to other individuals. It's like giving temptress siren energy at its core, male or female. It's just like, and it can be quite platonic as well, but others are drawn to this energy, and it's because you're really enjoying life. You're in the flow of it. Even when things are difficult, you go through the motions of connecting to the prosperity and the gratitude and taking time to, what do I want to say, to accelerate the flow and exchange the energies with the environment instead of like being too abundant. When we learn something, it's like we have this urge to share it. When we have an experience, we have an urge to unpack it with another individual. And there's this thing happening with your energy frequency that others are drawn in because there's something so subliminal and subconscious about why we're drawn to each other, and this inclusivity in your vibration is drawing many people to what you've got going on here. Discernment was under the deck, and so like moths to a flame, we need to understand that not all individuals are going to replenish that fire and that there's some type of karmic lesson that we've already been learning in regards to that, and we covered that, but it's being reminded. So then we have this Earth Star Chakra initiation, grounding and connecting in nature to the soul time, to the gratitude and the miracle of life itself. Like I often think of this when I look at the microcosm or the macrocosm, looking out at the stars or looking across an enormous vista, or even online looking at cultures like under the ocean and things like that I would never have seen if I didn't have access to certain things. And there are miracles every day that we take in stride. And so it helps me to really connect with this earth as heaven itself on earth, and to convey that message to others that this is a place of true sensual delights. We have taste, we have feelings, we have all of these things that we could be immersed in, or we could, for instance, continually only seek for some type of diversion energy with that medication, self-medication energy of addiction up there. It's like we need to be highly aware of how we're using our beingness to be what we're becoming. And is that feeling good? Is it feeling fulfilled? And if not, how can we get back into that prosperity of spirit through that tantric journey of really inclusion, of like, what would it take for you to turn that delight on its head and pursue something that really lights you up? And first, I would say time in nature, connecting deeply with Mother Earth, is really grounding and stabilizing. And it looks like through that time, there's something that has been being healed. We had healing earlier. Now with this vulnerability, there's this inner kundalini energy at the tantric base that wants to be reactivated. And there's some sadness that wants to be moved through and perhaps given to the earth to be able to transmute that and come back through as some type of enlightenment that then becomes the message that we continue to share forth from a point of true compassion. Isn't that beautiful? Compassion, one of the initial 3 teachings from the Tao, with conception 15 and 16 respectively. That's interesting in itself. Birthing a new way to be, a new, happier connection to the earth and to ourself. Crystal keys, allowance and divine masculine. So crystal keys came out recently. It's like understanding that giving yourself permission to leave something behind and use those crystal keys to escape from the boxed in thinking mindset is allowing you to really reclaim your power, your divine masculine, or your ability to reparent and reconnect with your inner child, and to create that sense of passionate encouragement and need for some type of recognition and validation, even for your calling and your purpose and your beingness. It's like going out and really showing others who you are in this next phase of the journey. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of showing yourself, but through giving these examples and so on with clear communication, you are really starting an inner radical revolution. And it's a beautiful thing to see. So I hope that that helps. Check back for other messages very soon, and I will leave you there. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Sending so much gratitude. I never take my viewership for granted.